我看沙滩车开得很保守。
对，他说你在冲什么冲？你回去要换车了。
You're fine for a while, but you start to lose control. He's there in the dark, he's there in my heart. He waits in the wings, he's gotta play a part. Trouble is a friend, yeah, trouble is a friend of mine. Trouble is a friend, but trouble is a foe. Oh, oh. And no matter what I feed him, he always seems to grow. Oh, oh. He sees what I see, and he knows what I know. Oh, oh. So don't forget as you ease on down the road. He's there in the dark, he's there in my heart. He waits in the wings, he's gotta play a part. Trouble is a friend, yeah, trouble is a friend of mine. Oh, oh, so don't be alarmed, baby, takes you by the arm. I won't let him in, but I'm a sucker for his charm. Trouble is a friend, yeah, trouble is a friend of mine. Oh, I hate the way he breaks me and how I try to make him leave. I try, I try, but he's there in the dark, he's there in my heart. He waits in the wings, he's gotta play a part. Trouble is a friend, yeah, trouble is a friend of
之前有登山客到南投信义乡知名的巨大林道，没想到在33K 登山口处看到9台车占据林道，原本大约3米宽的道路变成不到1/3，有的甚至被帐篷完全挡住，严重影响通行。
trouble is a friend of mine.
经整路塞人了。
I'm happy to be sad. It's funny when I'm mad. I don't really make sense, but I know that that's not bad. I'm lonely in a crowd, and I'm quiet when it's loud. No, I don't know what I want, but I'll figure it all out. I like to move around to a different beat. I'm walking with a smile down my own street, and I don't really mind why you all think, 'cause I am me, and that's unique. I'm living in my own world every day. I party by myself in my own way. Might look a little funny, but that's okay, 'cause I am me, and that's unique. I am me, and that's unique. I love you when you're mean. I feel dirty when I'm clean. No, I don't really make sense, but I know that you know what I mean. I'm hungry late at night, and I'm tired when it's light. I've got my imperfections, but I know that that's alright. I like to move around to a different beat. I'm walking with a smile down my own street, and I don't really mind what you all think, 'cause I am me, and that's unique. I'm living in my own world every day. I party by myself in my own way. Might look a little funny, but that's okay, 'cause I am me, and that's unique. Why should I be like everybody? It's overrated being ordinary. I am me, and that's unique. I like to move around to a different beat. I'm walking with a smile on my own street, and I don't really mind what you all think, 'cause I am me, and that's unique. I'm living in my own world every day. I party by myself in my own way. Might look a little funny, but that's okay, 'cause I am me, and that's unique. Oh yeah. I am me, and that's unique. I'm happy to be
西风
sad.
137山。
I'm
三个
mad.
那个凹，对，中间
I
凹
don't
三个。
really make sense, but I know that that's not bad. I'm lonely in a crowd, and I'm quiet when it's
山
loud.
西风，
No, I don't know what I want, but I'll figure it all out. I like to move around to a different beat. I'm walking with a smile down my own street, and I don't really mind what you all think, 'cause I am me, and that's
那个山
unique.
头就是山
I'm living in my own world every day. I party by myself in my own way. Might look a little funny, but that's okay, 'cause I am me, and that's unique. I am me, and that's unique. I love you when you're mean. I feel dirty when I'm clean. No, I don't really
快要到郡大山菜市场了。
Our first stage was very smooth, and this one is smoother. Green guides are go. Thank you, Michael. And Borman says we've got Seco. Cutoff was right on the second. All right, good then.
Sometimes we feel invincible. You're only flesh and bone. You can't do this alone. Yes, I'm afraid you are vulnerable at best. You're only flesh and bone. Kept telling me that you were fine, but you're never very good at lying. You strive for perfection, deny that you are human. Oh, but life's gonna trip you